Hi, this is your girl Annette, and this is the 2023 Wear Your Crown Empowerment Speaker Series for women and girls. The intent is to empower women and girls into their purpose. We do that by having a number of phenomenal queens share what they do, why they do it, how and why it's important, and how you can stay connected with them to support. Be sure to stay tuned for all of the queens who are sharing. And today we have none other than Joy Smith. Hi, Joy.
Hi, Annette. How are you?
I am well. It is so nice to see you again.
Yes, yes, same here.
Could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. My name is Joy Smith. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I am a up and coming event planner. I also do conference and seminars, and I do a lot of volunteering as well with different organizations, and I am a true networker.
Now, y'all, she said up and coming, but I'm going to tell y'all now, Joy is phenomenal. Now, I met her in Indiana with a group of women that I thought she already knew. No, these are women that she handpicked, met, God sent, what dusted off a little bit and was like, let's work together. Girl, I thought they had worked together in years the way she was like, okay, this is what we're doing. And then when I spoke to them, they were like, oh, yes. She was in constant contact. She made sure we knew where we were going, what we were doing, what time we should arrive, what we should wear. They looked like a well oiled machine. And because she had taught them so well, or I basically instructed them so well, if you didn't know that Joy was the coordinator, you would have thought that they were all coordinators because they were all very helpful, they were all very present, and they were all very in sync with what was happening to make sure that the event went off well. So Joy is not up and coming. She is here, period. So
Yeah.
when did you get started? How did you get started with event planning?
So, I used to always do events at church. Either I was over the women's events or I would be helping with the anniversary. And I really liked it. I love putting things together. I love meeting new people. I love just putting things in order and just bringing it all together. And then when you see that end result, it ends up being just a wonderful thing. So I was like, oh my God, this is really fun. So I was doing a family reunion on my dad's side back in 2007. I had a little bit of pushback, but I had to
Mhm.
push forward. And at that time, my dad was around. So my dad had my back no matter what. And he just taught me, he was just like, no matter what, just go ahead and go through with something that you had started. And once you do that, then you'll be able to go farther than you'll ever imagine. And I said, okay, all right. Even though after that event, I just shut down a little bit. I admit I shut down. But then I had to pray about it. I had to regroup. And I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and go ahead and do this outside of family and friends. And of course, the pandemic has opened up a lot of people's eyes into turning in turning their gift into a talent and actually
Yes.
getting paid for it and getting paid for what they love to do. Because when you do things that you love to do, you're very passionate about that thing, and everything works according and it works out for the good. And
You're right.
that's how I ended up doing it. So I was like, okay. I came with Joy's Master Plan. That is my business name, event planning. And from there, January of 2020 was when I did my first conference, and it was called The Time Is Now. And I had some dynamic speakers. And when you come to my events, you're going to need pen and paper because it's going to be very informative. And by the time you leave there, you're going to leave there with something that you did not come with. But you'll have a whole lot that you'll be leaving with, and you'll be able to use that not just from that event, but you'll be able to use that time after time after time, because it'll help you develop yourself, either in your business, or with your self-esteem, or
Mm.
with just, dealing with your mental status. I just been led in so many different directions. God will wake me up in the middle of the night, and I get to writing titles for different seminars, different conference, and I've been dealing with self-care, and I've been dealing with mental health, and I've been led to deal with mental health again. So I'm like, okay, what is this about? But even if
Yeah.
it's 25 people at that event, it's going to help somebody there at that event. And from there, I just love it. I love it. I also had did a couple of pop-up shops. Some were good, some were bad. Every one of them is not going to be the best. But, in the midst of the things that you do, you learn from each different event that you do. So I love it. I love it. And from there, I just been going on and on, volunteering with different organizations. I'm now a Philo affiliated with the Sigma Gamma Rho um, Sorority Incorporated. So I'm
Okay.
volunteer with them as well, and also be a part of the Philos. So
Look,
it's a one.
you said a number of things. First, oh Lord, I should be taking notes, because you talking about going to the conference and taking notes. I need to be having notes here, because I was like, oh, that's a plug. You what was it about the Time Is Now conference? The
Yes.
people that you had attended,
Uh-huh.
everyone should have pad and paper. And you
Yes.
mentioned you did a couple of events after that.
Yes.
Lord,
I did
I
a self-care event called Caring Heart.
yes, health, girl.
Yes.
Mental health in this season of COVID
Yes.
has been revealed across the cultural spectrum, because even in our communities, we aren't I don't feel like we lean into understanding mental health, mental wellness enough, but we have been opened up to what is needed when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to our mental health, that we do need to address it. We do have to have a variety of conversations, because a number of things and situations have been revealed in the season of COVID, because you've been stuck in the house with family and friends for 365 days
Yes.
and 24 hours back to back. Like, people were going stir crazy, and
Mm-hmm.
actually authentically learning about the people that they live with and they have been with for years, and understanding
Yeah.
how they were using different coping mechanisms to deal with, manage, or avoid a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the topics that needed to be discussed. So in terms of how imperative in this season those conversations were, that's why it kept coming around. That's why it's still coming around, because it's still
Yes.
very relevant and very necessary.
Yes. I mean, and even dealing with that, as well as dealing with death. Everybody has lost someone, not just anyone, but someone close to them.
Yeah.
And when my dad passed away, it was during COVID. So it kind of hurt me, because I wasn't able to be there with him during his process. He had pancreatic cancer. He ended up going to the nursing home. And that
Mm.
next week, me and my sister and brother-in-law, we went up there to see about him. And that day that we left was when everything was shut down. So it was just like,
Oh,
we couldn't do anything. We could try to call my dad, see if he's available to speak, but he was just slowly going down. And he's the type of man, he was always on the go. If you knew my dad was always on the go, and he always said if he sat still, then he would die. And
mm.
my dad was in his 80s when he passed away, or was
Lord.
he? He might have been late 70s. Yeah, late 70s or early 80s, somewhere around in there. But and sure enough, he was slowly going down.
You
So
know, you,
man,
you said that he had an opportunity to speak life into you before he
Yes.
passed, right?
Yes.
And then you shut down for a period of time, right?
I did. I did.
You know, it it sounds more like a reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Like he downloaded some information into your spirit, and God was like, I need you to sit and rest on that for a little bit
Mm.
because your reboot has been phenomenal.
Yes, ma'am.
Or in the words of Dr. J, your reset has been on and popping ever since, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Look,
And,
look.
and I feel like it's my dad's spirit in me giving me that extra push to go ahead. This is what I'm talking about, Joy. You know, go out in the community, help out the community, because my dad helped out the community. I didn't know that he helped out as much as he did until someone would hear my maiden name, which is Goldsmith. They would hear that name. They're like, wait a minute, are you kin to Herbert Goldsmith? I'm like, yeah, that's my daddy. They was like, oh my God. My dad loved to work around with the dead people. I don't know why. He even had a casket business. And he was just like, you know, I get along with the dead ones better than the live ones because the dead ones don't talk back. And I'm like, what? So
Look,
he's just like, you know, go out there. He's never say that you can not do anything because in anything that you do, you can always learn how to do it. You can
yeah,
always be taught how to do it. You know, you can self-taught yourself or you can go and you can learn about that thing. But you have to always try to do something. And me stepping out into the world and doing event planning, doing collaboration, doing networking, that's me stepping outside the box. Now, granted, I am a people person, so I can have a conversation with anyone. I can meet you on the street, walk down the street, we'll have a whole conversation. Now, what's going to come out that conversation? You know, only God knows what's going to come out that conversation because
right.
a lot of conversations that you have, you know, it's always a golden nugget in some of those conversations that you have. And some of those golden nuggets come from strangers. And it'll come down the road. You'll be like, wait a minute, did they just tell me? They don't even
Yes.
know me. And you just told me, oh, yes, God got it. Oh, oh, does he? And then you'll see it comes into it comes to life.
Look, you are absolutely positively correct. But I think that don't get me trying to quote the Bible, but it says something like that, right? Like a lot of times we miss, I feel like I think we had a conversation with one of our previous speakers that we miss opportunities for those nuggets by discounting people and what they look like or how we're given the information. Like I feel like I've learned, well, my mom was probably just like your dad because she never met a stranger. She
Mhm,
would talk to people. Like she passed in 2001, and when
mhm,
I came back to the States in 2003, people were still asking about my mom. And I was
mhm.
like, she passed 2 years ago. Like, y'all were here. You
Yeah.
were here. Like, how do you not know that she's gone? And they are in like full tears, like, oh my gosh, when did she?
Uh,
Oh my god, like y'all gonna have me on the street crying. And I felt like I had already dealt with this 2 years ago. And
yeah.
you bringing it back up like it just happened.
Oh
But
my
you
goodness.
know, when you have people who are that impactful, and
Yeah.
again, you never know what it looks like. You don't know who you're impacting on a regular basis. A smile, a
Mhm.
hello, a good morning. And when you speak to people later on, or you see them later on, and they're like, you know what? I met you 5 years ago and you smiled at me.
Like what?
You remember me? You sure it was me? It might have been the other black
Right.
chick. But you never know who those blessings are coming from. So be nice,
Yeah.
engage, share, exchange resources and information. It is a missed opportunity when you deny people information and resources that you have. Even if we are doing the same thing, it is not the same thing. And the
Yeah.
people that you reach are going to be different. Your need, your engagement is going to be different. So if someone is doing uh what is it, a paint and sit, a pageant, it's nothing to go and support, because there are women and girls that they can reach that maybe you could not, that you can connect to that maybe I could not, that you could speak life into that I could not. So
And
why
that's
would I deny, not share, not promote, not encourage women and girls to check you out, to look at the pageant? I had someone share, why are you sharing all these other pageants? Like, don't you have one? I do. There are millions, zillions, gazillion women and girls in the world who should see and have access to every last one of them.
yes. And see, and I have a young lady. She's 17. She's about to be 18 in January. And I try to expose her to different things out here in the world because, not and we as females, we're gonna like the boys. We're gonna want to be popular. We're gonna want to just be somebody.
Yes.
But along with that package, you need education to go with that. You need to be able to speak well. You need to also be able to talk to people and get to know people and not just be in just to yourself.
Mm.
When you do network and when you do support each other, all of that comes back to you. It might not come back from that exact person that you supported. It will come back through somewhere else. And that's one thing if you go to my page, even my personal page, or if you go to my business page, I am always sharing someone else's quote, someone else's business, just something. I had someone come to me when I was went to the Dominique Dorsey's it was the event at the Flanner House. It wasn't the Oktoberfest. I the May, I forget the event. Dominique Dorsey, don't please forgive me. But one of the vendors came to me and she was like, I love the fact that you support me all the time. Now, granted, I admit I have not bought one single thing from her, but I'm always promoting her, whether it's in Black Dollar, whether it's just on my page, whether it's in another group page, because I'm in different groups, whether it's at my church, I'm letting them know, hey, this person has this person has that. And even my friends, they'll be like, oh, well, I don't know, but I can tell you someone who might know someone that they can refer you to. I am that person. I'm able to let you know, oh, who's one of the best hairdressers in the city, who has the nicest boots, where can you get your eyewear from. I can tell you a person to go to. Who can I go to for plumbing? Who can I go to for electrician? Who can I
Oh, wait,
go to?
now is this limited to Indiana, or is this just like all over? Because
Well,
those frames, your girl just got a new pair and they're under construction right now. But I need some new stylish frames. I saw Gloria Combs has some. She connected me to a young lady, and I'm like, yes, I need to get back with her with those frames.
yes. Well, unfortunately, some of it is limited to Indianapolis, Indiana, but I am about to start networking outside of Indianapolis, Indiana, because I have, a little bit of connections in Atlanta. Of course, I have some, like I said, in Maryland, in South Carolina, just in different areas. I want to network. I have Cincinnati, Ohio. I have family there, and then I have family members that also they network as well. So it's just not me; it's a family thing with us. So we all know
Yeah.
somebody that we can connect someone else to, and then that's just how it goes. It starts with one person, and then it spreads to a million. But you just got to be that one person to help spread the word.
You're right. You're right. And I love the fact that you're traveling with it. You're sharing nationally. I don't know if you're international yet, but I encourage people to do that when possible. If you are able to extend out of your city, your town,
Mhm.
your state, and actually visit, network, and connect with some other people, you would be surprised at not only the information and resources, but the learning opportunities that you have from not only traveling nationally, but internationally as well. So if you have an opportunity to do so, by all means, please grab it with both hands.
Wow, I have to put that on my bucket list to do. I've never thought of going into to that level. Even learning people, getting to know people, you know, to do that. But that would be awesome. That would definitely be awesome.
It is. Some of our speakers this year are actually, one of our speakers is from Namibia. She's a dressmaker. She makes traditional damara dresses, but she's been adding a little flair to the traditional
Oh,
damara dress. So she shared what she's doing in our speaker series. You want to be sure to go back and check her out. She shared in January. I think she was like one of our second speakers. I'm still looking for speakers because I feel like it is so important for women and girls to see a variety of women
yes.
doing a variety of things. Because a lot of times we don't, if we're not traveling outside of our network of people, we don't always see the great things that people are doing. How many event planners do we know?
Mm-hmm.
Like how many florists do we know? How
Right.
many people who actually have tables and chairs that we can purchase from, especially if they're women owned,
Mm,
especially if they're black owned. Like if you have an opportunity to support some of these small businesses, then
yeah.
like that is huge to connect to a family, because you know those families are typically taking care of their families, sometimes their friends, and a lot of times giving back to communities. So you have an opportunity to not only support a small business, but an
Mm-hmm.
entire community of people because they're giving back to their communities in some ways.
Yes. And what I've learned, so I went to Arsenal Technical High School, which is an IPS school. But the people who I have went to school with are very successful. And I'm like, oh my God, wait a minute. I know you. You went to tech. Well, a young lady, she's with the cafe, and she's up in rank. I think she the director. She's either direct. Yeah, I believe she is the director. But we went to school together, and
Wow.
I was just letting her know what I did, and she was letting me know what she did. I'm like, oh wow, look at us now. Way back, I'm telling my age in '96. I graduated in '96. I think she graduated like in '98. But hey, we are successful young Black ladies. And it's just a wonderful thing to see the people that you went to school with be successful, and not a lot of them, either dead or locked up. um the neighborhood I grew up in, some of them, they are dead and they are locked up, but then
Mm,
I have a bigger percentage of people that I'm connected with that are successful,
right.
and that's a wonderful thing. It's beautiful to see that.
It is. And so I don't know what you said, you went to a tech and you was like it was a you used an acronym.
Arsenal Technical High School.
Okay. Yeah, I so it's like where they teach you a trade.
Well, it's a high school.
Oh,
It's
okay.
but it is a very good school with different career choices to choose from.
Okay. So I was leading into, so Delaware now has a variety of schools that specialize in specific, um like we have Cap Calloway and they specialize in the performing arts, and every area of the arts is included. So if you're learning how to make backgrounds, backdrops, producing, creating, writing, dancing,
Wow.
singing, anything tied into the performing arts, you would go there. And then we have our VOTech schools that are teaching technical or what is it, trades, like trade schools that teach you something that may require an apprenticeship afterwards. So you're potentially leaving school
Mm-hmm.
with a trade, with possibly an apprenticeship. to be able to move on like to your next level if that's what you want to continue to do with or without college. Now, a lot of people are like, you gotta go to college, you gotta go to college.
Well,
It is good to have a piece of paper in some fields, but it is not always necessary. And if that is not your cup of tea, there are a number of other mediums, ways that
mm-hmm,
you can still continue to grow and thrive and excel in whatever you are interested in. Now, I'm not saying don't go to college. I'm saying you don't have to. If you
mm-hmm,
have that drive and that ambition, the heart to do something, look at this series, at the variety of women doing a variety of things, connect with them, ask
mm-hmm,
questions, listen. Where did they go to school? What are they doing? Joy mentioned that she was volunteering at some events and activities. That's an awesome way to learn behind the scenes what works, what doesn't, what
mm-hmm.
you were comfortable with, what you were not comfortable with, what you would like to see at your event, how to enhance your event, and the same thing for pageantry. So if you have an interest in anything, whether you are in elementary school, high school, college, wherever you are, just look for resources and people who are currently doing those things, volunteer in those spaces, hold a spot. If that's what you're interested in, there's a way for you to do it. And we're encouraging you to do that.
Yes.
So, Joy, how do we stay in touch with you?
Well, you can reach me by my phone number, 317-444-0324. You can reach me right now. I'm on Facebook, and on Facebook, you can look up Joy's Master Plan. And I am currently working on my website, which I should have been done, but I am working on my website. But if you hit that QR code on my business card, then it will take you right to the places that you need to go to. You will often see, different people that I do share on my page when it comes to their business, but that is how I can be reached.
That
Or if
is
you need
awesome.
Anna, you're at the Miss Essen World Elite. And when that comes around, you can see me in person for that. Or if I'm volunteering at any of the events, I'll let you know that I'll be there to volunteer, and you can meet me in person and have a conversation with me.
All right. So, you guys, we have Joy Smith. She is Joy's master plan. She is a phenomenal event planner, great personality, great spirit. Like, and according to the volunteers that were working with her at an event where I initially met her, there were, I promise y'all, I thought they had known each other for years. And then in terms of that, now if this doesn't speak to her work ethics and how she connects to people, the young lady was like, I think she said y'all were at a supermarket or a store, and I don't know whether she said hi or you said hi, and y'all just started talking from then like y'all knew each other. She was like, I knew then that I wanted to volunteer with whatever she was doing. I wanted to be a part of whatever she was doing, and she was present. She was present. She was like, we need to hang this up here. Joy, you want this here? She was like, yep, if that works. And she was like, okay, we're on it. They had the backdrop hung up. They had the balloons put together. They had the lunches, the takeaway boxes put together. Everything was just moving so smoothly. And as I spoke to each volunteer, and they were like, oh, I met her at this location. Oh, I saw a post that she made, and I thought that I would come to try that. But all very pleasant. So if you are interested in volunteering, supporting, make sure you like, share, and follow Joy on her master plan website. She had a number. That information is below. If people want to sow into your business, how can they do that, Joy?
Well, they can do Cash App, uh, Lady J 4000. I also have my PayPal, which you can use my phone number, the 317-444-0324, or you can do I believe it is up under Joy's master plan. Um, and I do have Zelle as well, and you can use my phone number again.
Okay. Now, y'all heard it here. All of that information is below. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's to the top if you're watching us on Facebook, and you know it's to the right if you're watching us on IG. So make sure you check out if you are able to support or to sow into her business, by all means, use the links below. Make sure you check out her website, her page. Make sure you like, share, and follow Joy. Thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else you would like to share as we sign off?
I'm currently working on an event called The Time Is Now to Business Investment. Just be on the lookout for an upcoming date.
She said the time is now. Hands down, you want to be present. Now, is this event virtual or in person in Indiana?
It will be in person.
Okay. So you heard it. Stay tuned for more information on the time is now in Indiana. Not to be missed. Thank you for joining us for the 2023 Wear Your Crown Empowerment Speaker Series. Tonight, today, whenever you're listening, we have Joy Smith, and she is a phenomenal event planner. Make sure you look her up. Thanks again, Joy.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Annette.
Bye.
Bye.